several who suggested we split this and have, when I talked to Tom about this, have the pool in one question and the fields in another. Actually showed from my visit more support for the soccer field than the pool in the limited people I talked to. But that being said, the interest in doing that, I think it might save one or the other if they were separate.
Okay. Any other questions? Great. Thank you. Did I see Terry come in, or Blake?
Yeah, we're here.
Does one of you two want to address, where we're at with the school district getting this involved? We've had discussions with the school district in that and the needs of the district going forward.
Terry Shoemaker, Superintendent of Schools, Wasatch School District. Hi. I've seen you before, so we've seen you before. What can I help you with?
Well, just the discussions about your needs going forward, what your projections are for the pool, and where we're at as far as fulfilling the needs of the school district if this proposal were to be placed on the ballot. This fulfill your needs going forward.
I appreciate the opportunity to respond to that question, Jay. I think you clearly understand that we have a growing, what I would call, successful swim program in our school district. State championships in the previous years. Our girls finished second in 4A the very first year. We were in that this year. And so what we have is a very successful program and a lot of interest as it relates to the swim program that's been going on for several years, frankly. And I'm only seeing that interest increasing over time. So when you look at our current facility, when you look at the aged and bleachers that are existing there with the size of the group that we have swimming, whether it's part of the county swim team or whether it's part of the actual Wasatch High team, or all those preparation teams coming up towards that, it's very obvious to us that we need some other type of structure to meet the demand that program is being placed on that we have right now. So we're grateful that we've had this conversation together to talk about the need, for a pool as it relates to these types of programs. Now, as it relates to the soccer and those other kinds of things, I think the demand has always been there for additional fields too. But when you look at the pool in particular, there's a tremendous increase, growing program because of the success of that program. That tends to be what happens when you have very successful programs like what's happening with our students. So I think that answers the question.
Other questions, Terry? The school district, we do have a right for Principal Kelly and also the high school.
Have we arrived at any solid numbers on participation on O&M?
We can't hear them.
Brought that into the discussion.
So we're certainly open and willing to have that conversation.
Okay, thanks, Terry. Appreciate it. Okay, I think the item that's before us today is whether or not to place this petition on the ballot. Maybe just a little bit of history for those of you that are here. As Dr. Taylor spoke, I think this has been an ongoing conversation for probably better than 6 years, as I remember, 8 to 10 years, that this discussion has been about in the community. The way our form of government works is a citizen group wants an item on the agenda. They're able to do that through several means. They wanted it on, and so we entertained it. We entertained it, as like he said, about in November or whenever. And when we entertained it then, they had sent out more of a survey. It wasn't an official resolution. It was a survey to see how much support there was in the community. I think the numbers that came back, granted it wasn't a legal survey by no means because we didn't have the costs or anything associated with it. But the numbers that came back from there was met the criteria that would be needed to put it on the ballot for this general election. As we talked about this, as it's come about, The item that's before us today is only to put this on the ballot. It's not to state whether any member of the council is in favor of this facility or the field. It's just a matter of putting it on the ballot to let the majority of the people decide. That's what we're discussing today. We're not discussing the benefits or the negative impact financially or anything like that. The thing we're talking today is allowing the citizens to vote. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't think it's a vote in favor or against for us to do that. If anyone else would like to speak, they're welcome to. Anyone like to speak before I call for the motion?
Any question on this? You mentioned this one just to talk about the ballot. On the resolution, it talks about a hearing. When would that be? To talk about the other components, just for the public's information.
It has to be at least 3 weeks after today.
So we're
And
on
no later than,
And no later than 45 days before the election.
And this is what you're talking about, Steve,
Yeah.
moving that to the...
Yes, so just do that for the
And that's when
record.
the public can come and talk about the other.
So yeah, in this resolution, you see the blank space for the public hearing date that's required to issue the bonds. The public hearing has to be no sooner than 3 weeks after the adoption of the resolution and no later than 45 days before the election.
Brandon will keep us straight on that.
The purpose of that is the hearing, it seems almost backwards to some extent, because we're putting a resolution out, then having a hearing on it, but that's the law.
It is.
But the purpose of that is that you could reverse course after that public hearing. Is that correct?
That's our only public.
and we have held several public hearings on this issue, correct? In case someone's not familiar with that.
We have, but the state code requires this public hearing.
Sure, but we've had several prior to
Yes.
this date, I guess is my
Yes.
point. So if you're not aware of that, it is something we have done.
But based on that public hearing there, then you could, I guess, countermand the resolution, take it off.
Randy, can the number be amended after the public hearing?
The amount?
The amount?
Reduce it.
Reduce it, you couldn't go
Better
better.
increase your ballot. Restarting.
I mean, yes, it can be amended, but you likely have to.
If we reduce these, if we increase it, if we reduce that number, say if we find some justification to
Yeah,
think we was on notice for the maximum.
If at some point, for example, after the public hearing or something, we wanted to consider doing what Councilman Kohler suggested, splitting the vote for Aquatic and Fields, could that be done at that point?
It could be done, it also create a new public hearing. So, let me just give you a little bit of advice on that. Actually, you have to deliver this resolution to the Lieutenant Governor's office 75 days before the election. So, yeah, which puts us into what, July, thereabouts anyways. So the sooner you might have that hearing, the sooner you might decide whether to make adjustments and still have time to get a two-ballot proposition or an increase in amount or something to the Lieutenant Governor's office by So, I know Tom was right in saying no later than 45 days. We probably wouldn't want to go that close on the hearing if we have those kinds of questions, because this resolution will already be at the governor's office. 75 days. When we do that to help with the military votes and all overseas things. If you won't mind indulging me, we have some people that are here just to be in abundance of caution, read into the minutes the suggested changes suggested by Councilman Fair, if that's all right. Might as well get those.
Yeah, let's do that.
This resolution is before you. My suggested changes would be in the first whereas recital. At the end of that, we add a comma and approve a related operation and maintenance property plan as our purpose. Then in section 4, at the end of that first paragraph, add the following sentence. Included in the ballot proposition will be the approval of a related operation and maintenance tax. Then, on the notice of public hearing, we will adjust the address of being 25 North Main to be the senior center for that public hearing. The date yet to be determined. And then, in the ballot itself, this is for Councilman Kohler, I think it's a good clarification. In the middle, it says budgeting of actual revenues and costs to operate and maintain the project, comma.
What page are you on?
Page 7. I'm in the property tax cost of the bonds. And in the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth line down, it says, in the middle, it says cost to operate and maintain the project, comma. Right there, insert the following phrase. So long as the project is being operated, the county may levy a property tax sufficient to generate. I think that will clarify it, at least for not even. So those are my suggested, as in the copy that I have, there's the amendments that I've made to it for your suggested approval, and then remind you, you do still need to set the hearing date as well. Okay.
Before I ask for a vote on this, last time, as you remember, when the vote was 4-3, I think we all thought that was sufficient. We was corrected on that vote, and it required a supermajority. This also requires a supermajority, so it would take a 5-vote member of this council to get that on. Am I correct in that, Randy? And that's by state code, so the correction we had last time also applies not only to the citizens initiative, but to this matter.
Mr. Chair, we might, if I might, if I'm the only one interested in making the potential of splitting this, let's get that out of the way now. Does any of the other council have interest in splitting this into 2 issues?
I have some interest in that with the people I talked to, some are in favor of the pool, and it gives them a choice.
I think it'd be worth looking at. You're talking to people that are.
If it goes to the next step, I mean, I don't want to stop it then, if we might as well decide now, so that's why I'm after, we need 4 to do that, so.
Okay.
That's 3. Anybody else?
I'm okay either way, actually.
Enough that would make a difference in actually study it, or, I mean, I don't want to stop the process to get to the hearing, we're going to be close to the deadline anyway.
Randy, what would that entail for us at this point?
How long is your agenda right now? You got, is this it?
Half an hour.
You have to split O&M and everything.
Yeah. I would probably recommend coming back to your next council meeting with a revision to make that
To make the numbers work, and I understand
I'm
that
too
part.
nervous to.
But as far as the procedure, I just didn't want to do it then and then have to.
Yeah, I would, if that is a route, then I would, if that's something you'd like to do, I would recommend doing that. You're not on a real tight time clock. I mean, I know that you like to move when you put on the agenda, et cetera, but if that's something you want to do, let's bring it
I
back.
think we are on a timeline, because I think if this doesn't pass, then we need to provide ample time for the citizens group to go back and get the signatures required in order to bring it forward. So I think we need to. I think that's why, for me, I wanted to hear it earlier than later, give them an opportunity to go back and get the signatures. If that's what the will of the council is. So I would just soon do it today, and then if we want to split it out, look at it